That's a beautiful thing to be able to like even take this outside of the Arizona community, because really that's where I'm digging into initially. Here is where I started hip hop, but yeah, and then obviously Colorado's a neighboring state, and it also has a really cool hip hop scene.
It's growing, man. It's something to where it's I don't know, it's a process, man. I feel like I've seen it because I've been doing it for like the last 10 years, so I feel like I've seen it really go from like total shit show to like less of a total shit show to like, hey, now we've got some shit to like really,
Joe,
do. You know what I mean? Like now, yeah, now we got some like ins and outs going on. Now we can like actually have some fun with it. So it's cool. It's difficult in Colorado. There's elements to it that is because of the type of state it is. It's like it's very geared towards country. They don't really like hip hop in like the major venues and things like that. So the venues that have been built for hip hop are like dedicated to that scene for sure. But I think that it's starting to. I'm hoping that it's starting to kind of like transcend to where people are less looking at hip hop as a taboo the way that they do.
how does it work out there in Colorado? Is the scene, is there like a large pay to play organization that sort of puts on shows and then artists contribute to hop on that, or is it more like cliquish, and or do you've just got various producers that aren't necessarily like an entity, right? But they're just putting on a show, or do you put on your own shows? What's the deal?
It's kind of all the above, honestly. There's like I wouldn't necessarily say like there's an entity that like everybody kind of pays into. I have seen just in like my minimal research into Arizona, I feel like that's a big way that I've seen things work with like the more major kind of acts. It seems like there's like some guys that kind of really just pull the strings and then everybody kind of like works there. And there's that element here too for sure. Um over and then there's definitely the clicks. It's less now. Like it was super cliquish probably like 5 or 6 years ago. I'd say there was like hella like clickiness going on. Everybody had like their crew and shit, and then like everybody's crew kind of dispersed. And now it's kind of just this like I don't want to say free for all for the most part, but there's an element of like willingness to work now, which is super chill that I personally like a lot because it broke down that barrier of like, oh, you're not a part of my clique, so like I don't fuck with you. It's like now it's like, hey, like, I saw you doing some shit a couple of years ago and I thought it was super dope. Like we should work together and whatnot. And then you just kind of piggyback off of that. Or maybe that's just been my experience and where I'm at. I'm not entirely sure. Like people could be hella clicky still. I don't know.
Can I be a Buddha? Can I be a Buddha? Eh, oh. Can I be a Buddha? Can I be a Buddha? Eh. Can I be a Buddha? Can I be a Buddha? Can I be a Buddha? Eh.